Gomez. Hey, how you doing today, guys? Welcome back to another video. This is Mr. Gomez, your favorite teacher in the whole world, and today we're gonna be talking about surface area of a triangular prism. In particular, we're only gonna do one problem today. We're gonna be doing number one. We did the rest of this page, we did on the previous video, so I'll leave a link for you over here. But today we're gonna treat number one a little bit different. On the previous video, we talked about it, and we said we're gonna treat this as an equilateral triangle, but it is not the case. So let's do this in a different way, that we're gonna incorporate multiple topics of A-grade material into this problem. Hopefully it doesn't take too long. But before we start, please go ahead and consider subscribing if you haven't done so. If you haven't seen my other channel, MTV Alex, I'll leave a link for you over here. If you want to support this channel, link down in the description. And let's go ahead and talk about number one. So number one, we have a triangular prism. The base is a triangle. We have a base on the bottom, we have a base on the top, and then the three sides are rectangles. And before we said we're gonna treat it as an equilateral triangle, which might or might not be the case. And if it's not the case, because I didn't get a number on number 7 for it, or on the previous paper, on one of my previous videos, we did this one as well, and we also treated it as an equilateral triangle, like for instance number 5 and number 6, which are the same. We treated it as an equilateral triangle, but it might not be the case. And today I'm gonna show you how to find that missing length at the bottom of the base. All right, so we are focusing right here on number one. The formula is gonna be the same process as before. But what I'm concerned about is to finding, just like we did before, we're gonna draw this on the side. We're gonna draw this on the side, and we're gonna label it. This is a right triangle, so this is 4, but we don't know this one, okay? And to find this one, we're gonna use a theorem called the Pythagorean Theorem, okay? So that's finding the hypotenuse. The longest side of a triangle is called a hypotenuse. And we're gonna use a formula, a very specific formula for this, and that formula is going to be called the Pythagorean formula, which is a squared plus b squared equals to c squared. Okay, so now when you look at the triangle, this is A and B. You can switch those back and forth. It really doesn't matter. But the one that has to stay the same all the time, it cannot be a different one, is going to be right here, C. C is going to be the hypotenuse, the longest side of the triangle. That's just one thing to remember. The letter C is going to be the longest side of the triangle. And to find this, all we gotta do is substitute the values of the letters into the equation and solve for the missing length. In this case, we're looking for C. You could easily be looking for A or B, but in this case, we're looking for C. Whenever you're looking for C, we're gonna add two things. Whenever you're looking for A or B, you're gonna have to subtract. So basically, you solve for an equation. So let's see. Instead of A, I have 4, so it's 4 squared. Instead of B, it's also 4 squared. And I don't know C, so it's C squared. Now 4 squared, just like when we talk about circles, radius squared, it was just radius times radius. Well, 4 squared is just gonna be 4 times 4. Not 4 times 2, 4 times 4. So 4 times 4 is 16, plus, again, this one is the same number, so I don't need to work extra, it's also 16, equals to C squared. Now, I gotta leave C by itself. If I add 16 and 16, I get 32 equals to C squared. C is not by itself yet because it has an exponent. And in order to get rid of the exponent, we have to take the root of it. In this case, since it's a square, we're gonna have to take the square root on both sides. So we take the square root on both sides, and that will cancel the 2, and you will be left with the C. And the square root of 32, you can just punch it in the calculator because it's not a perfect square. It's going to be somewhere around 5.66. 5.66. So the missing length is actually going to be 5.66 centimeters. Again, if you had, for example, if c squared was 25, well, the number that you can multiply by itself to get 25 is 5. So the square root of these two will be 5. But in this case, the next one will be c equals 36. The number to multiply to get 36 is going to be 6. So you know the answer is going to be between 6 and 5. 5 and 6. And it kind of makes sense, the number that I got, 5.66. It's actually 5.65685424949238, and it just keeps going. So I just rounded to hundreds. And you're going to learn about more squares, perfect squares, and how to do the square roots later on in 8th grade. But this is just a brief introduction. Now that I was able to find the missing length, I can go ahead and find P, and I can find B. For the perimeter, it's just going to be 4 plus 5.6. So 5.66 plus 4 gives me 13.66. And the base, well, that I don't really need the 5.66 because it's just going to be base times height divided by 2. The base is 4, the height is 4, so this is 16 divided by 2, which is 8. Now I can go ahead and do the formula. So PH plus 2B. PH, this is 13.66 times the height, which in this case is 8, plus 2 times the base, which is 8. So this right here, when you multiply, you get 16, and 13.66 times 8 gives you 109.28. And when you add those two, you get 125.28 centimeters squared. Mister, how was that you find the lateral surface area again? Right here. This is the step for the lateral surface area. So lateral surface area equals 109.28 centimeters squared. So whenever you're taking a test, do you think you're going to get a problem like this, that you're going to need to find the missing length? Yep, most likely, because they're testing you at different areas of the 8th grade material. So make sure that you know how to do the Pythagorean theorem. Again, it's going to be very simple. All you have to do is find the missing length. In this case, we're looking for C, and that was the end of it. The rest of the process for surface area is the same as before. Again, if you learned something today, make sure you hit the thumbs up button. Don't forget to comment, share, and subscribe. Make sure you smash the notification bell on so you don't miss any future content. Other than that, that is it for this one, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.